For 10 seconds and go. Start.
Can I start? Can I start? Can I start?
I think
Yes,
we are
Honey.
live.
Okay. Yali ho. Good evening, everyone. The world is full of gems and diamonds, and we have one of them here in today's webinar. I, Hani Prajapati, on behalf of Calorex Public School, would like to welcome you all in today's webinar. It is really important for us to take care of children at this time of COVID 19. To know more about it, we are welcoming a great personality. Ms. Nirali Shah is our guest and speaker for today's webinar, who will guide us about the right ways to nurture the uniqueness in children during COVID times. Ma'am is an internationally certified practitioner, art therapist, energy healer, and a life mentor with 19 years of experience in transforming lives. All her activities are meant to heal, grow, nurture, and empower anyone who chooses the life of freedom from limitations. Nam uses various tools and techniques to make the magic of transformation actualize, that is individual to the being. Her personal sessions are extremely powerful and magical. Those who have experienced the magic of her sessions look forward to learn more and grow more from her. Ma'am's expertise is in working with varied age group, starting from the child in the womb and professionals to the aged parents. She mentors and offers tools for change to help her clients live stress-free and holistically happy lives. Her processes work on physical body, mental body, emotional body, and spirit body at a time. Ma'am offers transforming workshops, regular meditations, and personal sessions. She is an oracle card reader for those seeking guidance in current life situations. She runs a wonderful book club, Philosopher's Stone Book Club, which helps people explore the wonders of life through wisdom of books. Ma'am very soon is launching a unique workshop to empower parenting through her YouTube channel called Alchemy of Being. She talks about various topics where most of us find ourselves stuck as professionals, as parents, as educationists, as children, as teenagers, and as adults. Ma'am throws light on those areas of life which we seldom miss to observe. Her clients call her alchemist of change. Those who desire different creative, grander possibility for their children, for their profession in their life, in relations, in career, for family, for health, is when people likely to find her. So, ma'am, we heartily welcome you in today's webinar.
Thank you, Honey, for this wonderful introduction, and thank you, Calorex. Thank you, Nirali Dagli, the principal ma'am, for inviting me here. And what are we going to have a conversation on today?
Today, we are going to have a conversation with Nirali ma'am on the topic nurturing children's uniqueness in COVID times.
All right,
Bef-
let's begin.
okay, before we start our conversation, I would like to request you all that if you have any questions, please put it in the comment section. We will take few questions after the conversation is over, if time permits us. Ma'am, I have some questions for you. If you permit me, I'd like to ask them.
Absolutely.
So here comes my first question to you. Parents and teachers both are struggling for our well-being and to strengthen us in this time of the crisis. Can you help them raise our uniqueness?
Absolutely. I know the present time is difficult. Uh, for more than a year, the entire world is going through a lot of changes. There has been difficulties. Pandemic is bringing us, a lot of chaos, and many times we do feel stuck. there is pain, and in all of that, the life goes on. So the only way for us is to move forward and without resisting it. So have you heard, Honey, the term called every problem comes with an opportunity?
Yes, ma'am, that is true that every problem comes with an opportunity.
So for one moment, let us all, you and all the viewers on the screen, let us all look at this pandemic as an opportunity, a unique opportunity for all of us, an opportunity to be different and embracing the unique. Let me begin by asking you, what are the most unique ways of living and thinking this pandemic has brought to us as family, as person, as in education? I want viewers to write it in the comment section, and Honey can read them out, or you can speak up from your behalf.
Okay, ma'am. So the opportunities which we got from this pandemic were like we got to spend more times with our families. Uh, Studies became more easier. Like before, we used to go to school, but now sitting at a place, we can study the same things which we used to study in school. Studies became really more easier. And the pollution, let's talk about the pollution. So the air pollution decreased a lot because very few people are going on the road, so the amount of vehicles traveling decreased. So there is no air pollution, not like no air pollution, but the air pollution really decreased, and noise pollution as well, because of vehicle noise pollution was also created.
Yes,
So yeah.
exactly. So COVID has given us opportunity to be more with each other as family. And I want to share. I know so many families wherein a baby is born just right in the middle of the pandemic, and usually a busy father or a grandparent who would not have been able to spend so much time with the baby during this time, the baby received so much love and so much attention from their grandparents and their father. Now this baby was able to receive the love and attention which is going to contribute in the emotional growth of the child in the right timing. So this is one of the addition that I would like to make. When pandemic is creating chaos, there are some other good things that we can look at. Now coming back to our topic, that uniqueness. Now what is uniqueness and how it can be nurtured? That is the entire topic. But before we move forward, I want to say that how uniqueness is born. When a child is born, of course, the child is born with a unique set of qualities, unique set of personality, and in all of that, a child is able to see the uniqueness while it is acknowledged, the unique quality in it, by being present with the unique qualities and believing in those unique qualities. So, do you have a question here for me?
Yes, ma'am. Now, from the this was a really informative answer. Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, from the perspective of adults, I'd like to ask the question that how the parents and teachers nurture the uniqueness of children.
Right. Now, when parents and teachers see uniqueness in the child, is when the process begins. And when the parents, teachers, adults, as society, we are able to show that uniqueness to the child, is where things begin to flourish. I'll give you an example, personal example. A lot of my uniqueness was explored as a child during having a fun activity with my family, like playing games together or doing some artwork, reading books. with no agenda of me being taught life or educating me towards something or tutoring, just in engaging with a fun activity as friends, as equals. And with all of that, I also received a lot of opportunities from my school friend. Like example, I was given a lot of chance to lead various activities in school, like how your school is giving you opportunity to host me. The same way I used to, be given opportunity to direct theaters or write scripts or participate in various competitions. And during this exploration, I recognized that what all I'm capable of and what are my strengths. So I'm so grateful for these beautiful family members and amazing teachers who recognized what I had in me in the early ages. Now, during the pandemic, we may feel, we are sitting in four walls and, things are different, all the education is going on the Zoom. How can we, bring that kind of environment for the children? That might be a question for men. And, would that be an added responsibility for us? We already have so much responsibility. We have housework. We are also working from home. There's so much going on. How are we going to be able to do that? Now, definitely, this is a new way of seeing. Like, everything is changing around us. How we have made ourselves comfortable on Zoom, or how we have made ourselves comfortable working from home. Just like that, this is an added perception and added understanding of dealing with the present situation. As you asked me earlier, that parents and teachers both are struggling really to help you, your generation, to find the strength so that this entire phase is you know passing not with struggle and trauma, but rather coming out as a stronger person. And how can we do that? By recognizing and believing in what is within us. I'm going to share some beautiful names from the history very soon, but before that, I want to highlight the part that let's not take nurturing uniqueness in children as an added task. It is just a new normal, and if we are raising a more happy and a confident individuals as generations in this most challenging time, we're going to be able to show us and this generation's children about what can be accomplished even in the time of change and upheaval. So are we ready to show this generation and the coming generation? I want to ask all the viewers and Honey, who's presenting all the viewers and teachers community and parents community, that are we ready to bring about that kind of a children? Yes or no? You can type it in the question section or comment section. Yes?
Yes, ma'am, definitely.
That's great. Now, I'm going to take names of some really known people and let's see if you recognize them. Steven Spielberg, Mozart, Pablo Picasso, Albert Einstein, Rabindranath Tagore. Now, these are some of those known people who had been extremely different, unique when they were kids. So Steven Spielberg, recognizing his uniqueness, at the age of 13 was able to make his first short film. And he now has been able to turn out to be one of the Hollywood's best directors and who's won so many Oscars. Mozart, at the age of 3, he had the chance to create his first composition. One of the greatest musicians in the history of music. Pablo Picasso, at the time of Renaissance, he started his journey of art and created an entire new way and the process of art when he was a child. Albert Einstein, one of the weirdest child, and he was thrown out of school because he was not speaking and he was not performing well. But his mother took up the challenge that my child may be different, but he's special. And he turned out to be one of the most famous scientist, philosopher, and a change maker for the world. And a lot of his inventions and his discoveries, we are still, developing upon it. And Rabindranath Tagore, our, our beloved Rabindranath Tagore, a multi-talented personality, who was an artist, a musician, a writer, and our national song is also written by him. Now, this May month basically is his birthday month. 7th May was his birthday, and I would definitely like to, talk about him. That he started writing his short stories in the early ages. He started painting in the early ages. So it is possible, and what not is possible when the uniqueness in child is just flourishing and being nurtured. Now, honey, you may totally tell me that, ma'am, yeah, these are the names from the history or these are the adults, but what about us children? Well, I want to also share some child prodigy from the recent years who have been doing great by showing their unique ideas and by acknowledging the uniqueness within them. Ryan Hickman is one of the names. He was just 3 and he took visit of a recycling center in California. And probably the visit was, planned by the school. But here he found his calling. And at the age of 7, he was ready with a plan on what he's going to do to recycle. And he started Ryan's Recycling. He started collecting cans and bottles from his neighbors, as recycling has risen to over 50 customers. And 2 lakhs bottles he had collected by the age of 7. And while asking why he kind of came up with this entire idea, he said he did this because bottles get to the ocean and then the animals get sick in that. A unique thought at the age of 7. And inspiration started at the age of 3. Another wonderful name and another child wonder I would mention, and that is Mikaela Ulmer. Ulmer is in another example of how little lemonade can change the world. And for honey, you may think that how can a lemon juice change the world? But well, a small idea makes difference, and small idea in a little mind can make even greater difference. So after learning about how much bee does for the environment and how they're dying out in a school project, Ulmer recognized at the age of 4 that she would want to do something for the bees. And she joined a local children's business competition, and she created a lemonade as a product, and she added honey instead of sugar. And she sold those lemonades in that competition. And most of its portion sale was given or donated to the organization who was fighting to save the honeybee population. A girl at the age of 4 creating difference in the environment and in the lives of others. Why I'm sharing all of these examples, you will soon know. And I'm not going to keep the star from the India. I'm not going to be leaving him aside. So Yash Gupta, we would say that our Indian kids are no less. Yash Gupta was inspired to collect eyeglasses for children in the need at the age of 14. He had probably broken his own glasses after probably a game or so. And it took about a week for him to get a replacement of it. And he found it very difficult to lead his day, his educational activities, and his on-ground activities without glasses. And he went on internet and he realized that there are about 12 million children in the world who are deprived of even glasses, even eyewear. So what he did was he started his sight learning organization at the age of 14. And the group of people in the organization collected used glasses and delivered them to children who needed them. So they have so far given 1.5 million worth of eyewear in places like Mexico, Haiti, and India. So what not is possible when a single uniqueness of the child is nurtured? What can't be changed in the world? I believe, Honey, are you on the screen? And if you are,
Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
yeah, you're on the screen, right? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So do you now want to know how that can be done, that can be raised? How uniqueness can be nurtured?
Yes, ma'am. I would like to know that.
Yeah. So, and how about all of you who are the viewers? Do you want to know how we can nurture this kind of uniqueness in child and become the teacher or the parent for such unique children? I would like to see, I'm also seeing the Facebook Live. So if you would put up a thumbs up, that if you want me to give you some tips, then just say a thumbs up or yes, so that I can start sharing. All right. I'm getting a lot of them. So tip 1, how can an educator, teacher, or a parent can nurture such a uniqueness? Well, the first tip and the first step would be to not push ourselves and these children to be something they are not. Now, we have heard this probably many a times, but and if students like Honey, when you are in a higher class, you too become a role model for younger students. So not pushing ourselves and children to be something they're not. Why? We're embracing your child and your students' uniqueness for who they are is one of the greatest gift you can give to them. Honey, I want to ask you if you've heard the term trying to teach a fish to climb the tree. Have you heard that term?
Yes, ma'am. I have heard that term.
Yeah. Now, I want you to imagine if you are a teacher, okay, or
Okay.
you are a parent, and the fish is in front of you, and now you're given a task to teach it to climb the tree. Now, how would you accomplish that? And how fun would it be for you to teach fish to climb the tree?
Ma'am, it won't be fun at all.
Okay,
Because
why?
teaching a fish to climb a tree, for me it will be the most difficult task because it's not in the nature of the fish to climb the tree. Even coming out of the water of its sea, it is not in the nature of fish. So it's a bad idea teaching a fish to climb a tree.
Exactly, it would be a very bad idea to do that. But if you have
Yes.
to let fish be, then what would you do?
Sorry, ma'am, please repeat your question.
If you have to, you can allow the fish to be, then what would you do? What can you teach fish the best?
Teaching fish best is to how to stay in water, but actually there is no need of that. Swimming and all, it's in the nature of fish. So
Exactly.
yes.
So that means that you just can take fish to the water and say,
Yes.
go swim. I'm sitting at the ocean, at the river bank or at the seashore, and I'm just here. Go ahead. I'm reading my book. It'll be that easy and it'll be that fun because it already knows that.
Yes.
Correct? So,
Yes.
the same way, nurturing child's true spirit is actually easier than you think. And it is going to be extremely complicated, extremely difficult if we try to give them something that they are not. Now we'll jump to tip 2. That is bonding and self-confidence. Now, bonding and self-confidence go hand in hand. As I shared earlier, that a lot of my uniqueness was recognized in the earlier years while I was bonding with my teachers and my family. And that is where, when self-confidence is something that can come when you are in touch with your difference, when you know your difference and how you're going to bring out the difference in the world. Now, it's kind of a difficult psychological term maybe for Honey, but all the viewers, I'm sure you can understand that bonding over a common activity for fun, and that's where my family had more chance of encouraging me, appreciating me, and strengthening my gifts and uniqueness. My family didn't even realize that they were doing it, and meaning they were not stressed, and we were only laughing and having fun together. Now, simple things in the present times could be when we are at home, bound to the four walls. Could be washing dishes together. What else, Honey? What can be done together as a family?
Sorry, ma'am, please repeat.
Yeah, what can be done together as a family?
As a family together, we can spend time as much as possible.
Yeah,
because the happiness we get from family, we cannot find it from anywhere else.
Exactly. So bonding over activities. Now, what could be those activities? I gave an example of doing laundry together or washing dishes together, or perhaps parents can give children some tasks from the professional work where child can do the filing or organization or some coordination. And in the present times, your children are so good with technology that you can probably organize something for your parents. And in that entire working together of co-creating that activity, there is so much can be given to them that would be way more than what they would learn sitting by reading a book or trying to probably muck up something. The life will be learned at this point. So that now with schools, I want to share one of my examples. Long time back, I was working with an organization, a residential program for boys, and I was mentoring this organization. And while I was having a discussion with the staff and educators over there, I realized that every year they have activities where children would have a platform for performance or some event or celebration. Now, after a couple of mentoring sessions, we brought in a different angle to how they will celebrate these activities. And what we did was we involved boys in the decision making, in planning, in cooking, and later also in budgeting. And I want to share here that with all of their involvement with these events, very soon it so happened the organization saved a lot of money because of the idea these boys had to accomplish a certain task, and they were doing it amazingly like experts. At the same time, they were able to bring out a chef, a manager, a leader, a communicator, a crisis manager. They did not only just allow the uniqueness in the child to flourish, they also acknowledge their own unique capability to educate. So this was some wonderful experiment that we've done, and it came out so beautifully. Now, tip 3 would be allowing child to make their decisions. It could be something over, they choosing their own extracurricular activities, or for younger children, it could be something as simple as, they choosing how they're going to dress themselves. Now, instead of we deciding, example, this, during the pandemic when we are sitting at home, we can just ask them to choose an activity that, we are going to do together. So every night, probably parents can have a discussion that, Honey, what activity would we have together tomorrow? And Honey can probably choose, okay, mom, tomorrow let's do dishes. Or Papa, if you have a filing work, let me, organize some files for you. And, that decision making power for small things. Giving them the idea that, example, if it is an extracurricular activity, we can show them, what benefits children will have if they participated in a certain extracurricular activity, and then, let them choose that activity that works for them. Second would be about dressing, like, show them, the kind of dressing, the occasion, the colors, its importance. And after that, let them choose what they can wear at a certain occasion. Now, with small decisions like that, what happens is that one thing, you're making them responsible for their choices and their mistakes. It is important for children to learn that they can do mistakes and they can improve from that mistakes on the small things. At the same time, we are adding confidence in their unique choices. So it is a wonderful way to start with helping them to be more confident with their difference. Now we're going to tip 4. Do you want tip 4? Yeah, practical
Yes, ma'am,
learning
of
enhancing
course.
the knowledge. I'm just reading some comments on the Facebook, and bonding and learning together. Thank you for writing it down. Now we're going to tip 4. So I'm asking before we move ahead, do you want tip 4? Everyone on the screen, please say a thumbs up or yes. I'm waiting for your response. Do we want to head to tip 4? Yes. Okay, I got some yeses. So, giving children a space to express their feeling and ideas. As we discussed earlier, some of those brilliant child prodigies, now they were able to execute something at the age 4, at the age 7. Now, how was that made possible? To bringing out their extremely unique ideas in the world. Well, probably they had teachers and they had parents who heard them, encouraged them, and supported them. And this is required, whether it is a question of, they be able to, share their emotions, or they be able to share the ideas. And this is a time in the world where we do require more ideas. I've spoken before. Most ideas of change, I want to highlight most ideas of change. And when I'm saying this, I want you to go back into your childhood and recall your childhood years, that most ideas of change begin as children. And not all children like us have to wait for those ideas to actualize only when they're adults and established professionals. Perhaps some journeys can begin right at this age. So I'm wishing that the parents and the teachers and students who are probably watching this to come up with their ideas with courage that might bring some shift in their life, in the lives of the family, and in the lives of the world. Now, the last tip, and that this is going to be the most important of all, that is loving their difference, loving their uniqueness. Many of us sometimes, and I'm addressing this to everybody, it could be Honey, it could be all the viewers watching this, that many of us often, as parents, educators, as children, we do often feel that we don't fit in. We have to try very hard to be liked by others. Do we feel that sometimes? Now, where each one of us are different, and know that in your heart. And as a child, we're truly different. Each one of us is born with a purpose, with individual unique qualities. And if we are loved for our uniqueness at home and at school, whether we have 100 out of 100, or we have probably just passing marks, or whether we're excellent at some subjects and weak at the other. But with all of that, we are loved for our uniqueness. Then we, and I'm also talking about adults, I'm also talking about children, we would have less trouble showing up with courage as we are. And what if we start that difference in that old pattern right now in the middle of the pandemic? That being different is the way to fit in. And I want to repeat this, that we start that difference in the middle of the pandemic. For all those who are watching this, that being different is a way to fit in. We don't have to be like others to fit into this world. We can be us, and we can create a greater world together with our uniqueness. So my tip 5 is somewhere ending. All the 5 tips are very important. And I believe, Sahani, you wanted to ask me something while I was in the flow. You wanted to ask something?
No, ma'am, thank you. And yes, our third question was that what does the adults require to nurture this kind of a uniqueness in children? But you've answered it very greatly in your second one. So,
Yeah, thank you for that. Right. But I would like to also add that what, for adults, what is truly required is the courage. That one word is courage. And I'm highlighting it again because when one decides to be the nurturer of child's uniqueness as parent, as teacher, the first benefit goes to self. And we don't realize sometimes how much our children look up to us as model for our lives and how to live lives. And if we are even in our mind criticizing ourselves or thinking of our flaws or remaining in the pains of life, we're not going to be willing to embrace our own differences, then the child takes it to the heart. So it is time to try new things with your children that you never would have considered. And I'm very sure that you have got a budding chef, a gardener, a writer, an artist, or a scientist sitting right at your home. So try some hobbies, try some activities, bond with them over them, and let's see what uniqueness comes out, is getting nurtured within me. And at the end, and before we take questions, I would say that children's uniqueness, their difference, is your strength. It's your joy, and it's a pure contribution to you and your life and your life's growth. And when you become that unique parent and that teacher in child's life, very soon, I'm hoping that we'll have a world that is more stronger at its core. And with that, I'm just looking at some questions that we have. So we have a question. Honey, I think I would request you to read that question.
yes, ma'am. So, from Hiral Panchal, Hiral ma'am from CPS Ghatrodia has a question that how can we help the young children to reduce their stress level or to get out of their own frustration as they are locked up in the houses?
Right. Now, all the 5 tips that I've given and the entire topic of uniqueness itself, if begun somewhere at home and at school, I think it will kind of channelize that entire frustration. The reason children are getting frustrated is because their energy, which used to be beautifully utilized in the playground, in the theater activity, in the singing, during school hours, now that is somewhere not getting chance for ventilation. So what can we do sitting at home, probably from the Zoom platform, that would help? Now this is a time, and I would like to emphasize on the word bonding. The first thing that this generation is going to require is bonding with teachers, with parents. We have nature has given this opportunity to us, and let us take the maximum benefit of it to create a more stronger generation, and not a traumatized generation. Now, second thing is what we can do is organizing, more of those activities that calms down and helps them turn within. It could be simple meditations or some de-stress techniques. And while I do work on a lot of those processes, I would suggest that it is helping uh, you know young children to adults like anything in this time, because everybody is going through some or the other emotional upheaval. And if that emotion can be turned into something more beautiful, more high vibrational, then we are not accumulating the pain and the stress of it. We are moving to a more healthier inner being of the child, moving towards that. And the third thing is keeping them engaged in some projects from the school front, where again, they have chance to bond with teachers, in some research program where their mind and the skills and the uniqueness again is getting activated. When the child's uniqueness is at play, they will create something extraordinary, as we just discussed earlier, that that needs to be channelized. And channelizing, bonding, recognizing and being present with the uniqueness, I think these are the few tips that or rather the highlights of today's session that I would repeat towards the end of the session. Right, so should we wind up this session? Honey, do you have anything to add to that?
Yes, ma'am, and thank you so much, ma'am, for your beautiful answers. Today I'm very pleased after listening your golden words. Today onwards, many of us will be seeing you as an inspiration, having achieved so much at a small age and with an experience of 19 years. Your down-to-earth nature is just commendable. So, ma'am, with this, we come to an end of today's webinar. Thank you so much for your informative and motivational words. We are very grateful that you took time from your busy schedule to be a part of today's webinar. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much, Honey, for hosting me today. We had so much fun with you. And thank you to all the viewers for watching the session and leaving your beautiful comments.
Yes, I must say to all our viewers who joined us and left so many beautiful compliments for us on our Facebook pages. We are very humbled to have your continuous support. Thank you so much. Enjoy your weekends. Bye-bye.
Bye.